Merry Meet Witches, this is Great Great Father, and this is the 6th video in the Intro to Wicca series. The past 5 videos I've done were sort of a quick overview of what Wicca is all about and what it's not about. This video is going to be the start of the in-depth videos, going more and more deeper into what Wicca consists of and what it doesn't. As promised, because it is October and Samhain is the Sabbath for this month, I am going to do an in-depth video for a Samhain ritual. And this is something that you can do on your own or with a group or with other people if you wish. I'm just going to adjust the camera a little bit. And I do have to watch out for kitty cats wanting to knock the camera in the box down, so I'll kind of be reaching out sometimes for that, maybe not, depending on how good they are, how bad they are. So, Samhain, in terms of Wicca, it's the time of the wheel of the year when the god passes beyond the veil, a bit of a time of sorrow for the goddess as she is losing her lover. Also, Samhain representing that time of the year when the veil is at its thinnest between our world and that world, and we use it to remember and invite loved ones, friends, family members to come through the veil and spend the one night with us. Every Samhain I do use it's pretty much the same ritual. Different members come and go sometimes, but it's pretty steady, and they know what to expect come the time of Samhain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually give you an example of what we do for Samhain and how we celebrate it, and then I'll actually explain what you can do to make it your own. Now, what I would do starting out, since it may or may not be your first Samhain Sabbath, is I would get to your sacred space. Oh, let me go back one step here. Hopefully you are all able to actually complete the homework that I was talking about on the last video of putting together your sacred space, taking everything, all the elements I've been talking about, and creating your own little ritual, and hopefully you had a chance to perform it. Didn't have to be anything spectacular, anything big, or anything long. So I do hope that you got a chance to do that. What I'm going to present tonight, I would like to know if you are able to or going to be able to take what I'm going to tell you about tonight and incorporate it and perform that ritual on Samhain, which is October 31st, and it's a Saturday, and it's going to be the second full moon for the month of October, so it will be a blue moon. I feel that this is going to be a Samhain that is a extra special night. It'll be an extra special Sabbath, in my opinion. Again, sorry, I have the kitty cats. This is Snickers. I gotta get him out of the way. Her. So what I would do if I were in your shoes is first get to your sacred space and then cleanse it. Now, for cleansing, again, you can use the sage if you have it. You can use the moon water if you're able to make it. You can use incense if you have it. You can use, if you have it, a broom. And what you can do is go into the middle of your sacred space and you can sweep outward, and that'll sweep that negative energy out and allow you to perform a more pure ritual for the Sabbath, if you wish. Generally what we do is I'll lead the group. I will first raise the circle, bring that about everybody in our group so that we're in that protected space where nothing or nobody can interfere with what we're doing. So step 1 would be step 2 would be to, after cleansing your sacred space, would be to bring up that circle. Then If you wish, go ahead and call the quarters. It's not necessary. If you want to, go ahead. It's just the way that I learned to do it, so I do it every single time. Every time we have a Sabbath, I call the quarters. So my process is as follows. I will call out, I'll read to you what I actually do. So my first step is we all face the east, and we recite, "All hail the watchtower of the east, the element of air. I do summon and call you forth to guard and protect the circle. Be here now." And then we spin to the south. "All hail the watchtower of the south, the element of fire. I do summon and call you forth to guard and protect this circle. Be here now." We spin to the west. "All hail the watchtower of the west, the element of water. I do summon and call you forth to guard and protect this circle. Be here now." And lastly, I'll turn to the north. "All hail the watchtower of the north, the element of earth. I do summon and call you forth to guard and protect this circle. Be here now." So at this point, you've called the quarters. Then what we do is we invoke the goddess and the god. It's different for each Sabbath. With it being Samhain, I do have a entry in our Book of Shadows. I use, like I said, the same ritual every year for the Samhain Sabbath. And what I do is we call to the great lady to join us in our Samhain rite. "Gracious goddess, bring us your gifts of love and joy as we celebrate this night. You walk as mother, bringing forth wisdom and knowledge with every step. But we also honor you as the mistress of the moon, who shines down upon our rites, and the mother, who is cradle of all life. Touch our circle as you do our lives. Hail and welcome." You don't have to recite what I said word for word. You can make up your own call or invoke for the goddess. I encourage you to do so. If you would like to use what I wrote, feel free to. I have no qualms about how you go about learning and doing your way of, getting into Wicca. So if you feel more comfortable actually reciting what I just read, please do. If anybody would like what I'm reading off, let me know. I'll put it in the comments. So just ask in the comments, and I will put it up there for everybody to see. Then we call to the god. We call to the great god to join us in our Samhain rite. "Horned one, bring us your power and energy as we welcome your last touch and celebrate it in all its glory. Come to us as the horned god who runs wild and free upon the land, and come to us as the Lord of the Sun whose gifts allow us to sustain life. Hail and welcome." So with Samhain being the death of the god, it is symbolically represented by the ever lessening of the light. Each day there's less and less light until Yule, which at that point is where the time of equal darkness and equal light is, and then from that point forward the light starts to get longer and longer. Yule is the time of the wheel of the year when the birth of the god occurs. So you can kind of see how the wheel goes. Samhain, the god dies, less light. Yule, the birth of the god, longer light, longer days. What I'll do at that point is we usually have our altar is adorned with different things representing Samhain. You can adorn it with flowers, you can adorn it with bones. We tend to have pictures of family or loved ones, whoever it may be, on the altar, as that's the person or people that we're actually inviting to celebrate Samhain with us at that point. People who have passed through the veil, we welcome them back for the one night. So we'll have the pictures up on the altar. I generally go through a process of presenting each of the members of the circle with a gift. Last Samhain I had coyote bones with a smoky quartz, which I'd adhered to the bones, and they represented the way of connecting to the spirit world if they wished, but also allowing them to ground themselves if they needed to. And it was something that I let them know would also help them to guide their way through their lives with the darker days to come. So if you wish, decorate your altar whatever way you wish. Find a way to honor someone that has passed through the veil. Invite them to come and celebrate this time of Samhain with you. You don't have to. This is just suggestion, like I'm saying. It's the way I learned. Celebrate Samhain whichever way that you wish. You can mourn the death of the god if you wish. Offerings of, wine or cakes, or whatever the case may be, anything to ease the passing of the god through the veil. Once we go through that process and I've handed out the little trinkets and tokens and mementos to everybody, then I generally go to each member of the circle and ask them about honoring, who the person is that they brought and have the picture of on, and we'll go into a little detail about, how we missed them and what they brought and meant to our lives. You can sit and you can reflect on that if you wish, if you're doing it in that method. If you're just mourning the passing of the god, feel free to sit and meditate, whatever the case may be. However you want to celebrate it, do so. Generally at that point, once we're through that process, we do a little part of the ritual called cakes and ale. We'll go around each member of the circle, we'll hand out a cup, and we'll fill it with some beverage of some type, and we will tell them, may you never thirst, and they'll repeat that back to us, may you never thirst. And then somebody will go around and hand out a little piece of a cake or a cookie or something, and then we'll say to them, may you never hunger, and they'll repeat back, may you never hunger. That's the cakes and ale portion of the ritual. Again, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's generally done in larger groups, but if you're doing this solitary, there's no need to do it. Once you feel that you have completed your ritual to your satisfaction, at that point, if you have called the quarters, you can go ahead and dismiss them. So you do this in reverse. So last to invoke was the north, earth. So we'll point back to north and earth. Again, we'll repeat all these together. If you wish to have these written down, feel free to let me know and I'll put them in there. All hail the watchtower to the north, the element of earth. We thank you for joining us and sharing your qualities with us in our right. With love and joy and thanks, we bid you hail and farewell. Turn to the west. Again, going reverse of how we invoked. All hail the watchtower of the west, the element of water. We thank you for joining us and sharing your qualities with us in our right. With love and joy and thanks, we bid you hail and farewell. Turn to the south. All hail the watchtower of the south, the element of fire. We thank you for joining us and sharing your qualities with us in our right. With love and joy and thanks, we bid you hail and farewell. Then, at that point, we will ask the god and the goddess, we'll thank them for lending their power to the right. Special attention paid to the god, as he will no longer be with us from this point forward, from Samhain until Yule. We will thank them for coming and lending their power to our ritual. With love and joy and thanks, we bid you hail and farewell. Then I usually add in, stay if you can, go if you must. Meaning, if the goddess is, preferable to sticking around while we're finishing up our ritual feast, she'll be around. If they want to stay, they're welcome to stay. If not, then they leave. Then, at that point, we'll open the circle. Again, mentally or physically, however you wish to. Imagine that circle coming down so that it's no longer there, and bringing you back into the normal mundane world, so that barrier is not there protecting you from what's going on. I'll usually repeat, circle is open, yet unbroken. People will repeat after me. Merry we meet, merry we part, merry we meet again. So that finishes up the ritual. Then what we do is we always have a feast after every ritual for every Sabbath. With it being Samhain, it's extra special because for everybody that attends who brought a picture or a memento of a loved one, we then set out a plate for that person. It's commonly known as a dumb supper. So if you would like to actually do that during the ritual, feel free to. So you can, cast your circle, call your carders, celebrate whatever way. If you want to leave a plate as like a dumb supper for that person that you're honoring, or if you want to use it to honor the God, you're more than welcome to, celebrate this in whatever way you feel fit, works best for you. At the end of the day, what we'll do is we'll just take the plates from the dumb supper up and we'll lay them outside, and that way, the goddess and the God can know to send whoever gets that plate will be taken in from whatever form it'll be taken at. That's pretty much it. There are really no specific rules that you do need to follow when it comes to performing a Samhain Sabbat. Certain groups do have traditional, rituals that they follow. Again, like I said, I use the same one every year. The only difference being that every year I change up the little trinket remembrance that I give out to each person. Seeing as you're more than likely doing this solitary, make it a gift, if you wish, to yourself to help you, further your studies with Wicca or in witchcraft, whichever way you prefer. Again, it's not necessary. I'm just giving you suggestions. Hopefully, that has helped with a way that you can actually come about to celebrate Samhain. I'm not going to tell you what to write as far as the contents of the ritual. I'm just giving you the basic outline. The contents are totally up to you. It's a personal experience. I don't tell people it has to be done this way. It doesn't. It's not the way it's done. That's about it for tonight. If you have any questions, or if anybody does want the quarters, how to call the quarters written down, let me know. I'll put them out in the comments. This is Graybeard Crowfather, hoping that you will be able to write up your Samhain ritual, and greatly hoping that you'll be able to perform it on the night of Samhain. Next video, I haven't decided what we're going to get in depth on yet, but on, what's today, Sunday? Yeah. On Wednesday night, I'll announce at that time. So, signing off, blessed be.